much. And now, let me introduce everybody who's here at our watch party before we have everyone start watching at the same time. Our authors, Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen, and star Seth Rogen, and they'll be here, gentlemen.
We are here.
Hello, we're currently here.
We have director Greg Matola is here.
Hello.
Jonah Hill is here. We have Mr. Bill Hader to his right in the cube. It's going to have to get way more amusing than this. People
should we be clapping for one another?
Michael.
So far, it's a lot like every Zoom
right now, so I'm trying to be cool. I'm at a table with people eating dinner.
This is going to be a 2-hour awkward moment. Martha McIsaac is here.
Yay.
Emma Stone with a Wisconsin shirt. Michael Sarah has the best lighting here.
Thank you.
Chris Mintz-Plasse. Hello, Chris.
Hi.
Yes. Okay. Well,
And Michael's going to triple every dollar that is raised. He's being honest right now, but he's going to triple every dollar that's raised.
So nice that you agreed to do that, Mike.
Yeah.
you have to be very careful. I was on the Kevin Hart muscular dystrophy telethon the other night, and I made a joke about how much I was donating, and people think I'm donating that much, and now I think I have to. So just
never do that.
That's why my joke was about Michael donating.
Yeah, exactly.
A joke about yourself donating. That's
You've learned.
Yeah.
dangerous. Yeah.
People will hold you to it. 3 people on the screen right now are voting for Trump, so let's see if we can figure out who they are. So I guess what we're going to do, we're going to do the official. In a moment, I'm going to say start, and we're all going to sync up, and then it's going to begin. Right? Is everyone ready?
We're ready.
It didn't begin?
It didn't begin? It didn't begin?
Is it happening? I think it's happening.
It already happened. I
It's
thought
been on for a while.
They're just watching it.
We're in the second act. Movie's already on.
A lot of people consider the first 5 minutes pretty inconsequential.
Exactly.
the Happy Days people handled this so much better than us.
Do we need some volume from the movie?
You can read it.
No, you can read it if you want to know what's that.
Yeah, you can. It's kind of shocking to read.
Seth, I have a funny story about this opening. Should
Yeah.
I kick it off? I don't know why I
Go
think
for
about Seth. But Seth and I went to the Oscars this year, and I went to the restroom next to Joel Cohen, and he was appreciative of the shout out that you guys wrote at the opening of the screenplay.
That really contrasts with my experience meeting Joel Cohen, where he barely glanced up from his chicken to toss me a hand.
Well, those are pretty comparable stories.
Yeah, exactly.
This mostly sounds like a testament to the chicken. Where was it?
Yeah, exactly. It was in the Sony commissary, and it's very good chicken.
They did have good chicken.
They
I think
did.
he was into it.
Kookaroo, well, obviously.
Yeah, you don't want to meet your heroes. I asked Sacha Baron Cohen to introduce me to Martin Scorsese at an event, and I was so excited. And he just went, "Hey!" That was it. That's all I got. Hey.
Sometimes it's better that way.
Chris, how have you
meet
been?
your heroes- Sometimes you meet your heroes and they're great.
Yeah.
I remember knowing who Judd was from the Larry Sanders Show and from Heavyweight. Oh shit! I'm trying my best here, guys. I'm doing everything I can to make this a.
Jonah, try not to mention any HBO properties.
Yeah. They have not condoned this.
I'm just trying my best here to tell
You're
some
doing
fun
great.
stories.
Now, Seth and Evan you guys started writing this when you were 13, right?
Yeah.
Well-
this scene.
Oh, Judd, you didn't know that? Judd, you didn't know that?
I can freshen it up. I can make it seem Yeah, I haven't heard it before.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
This
crazy.
is,
So, Judd, you just finding this stuff out right now?
Oh, you guys wrote this when you were 12?
we prepared answers for all this stuff. I'm hearing it too. Now I'm hearing it too much. I don't know. If that's a problem.
Somebody is really riding that fader.
It was better when I didn't hear it.
Yeah, how do we mute this?
Yeah, this scene is highly representative of how we would go to the 7-Eleven across the street from our high school every morning and basically like perv out on magazines that were available there.
Yeah, I think it was around the time Maxim like kind of came into
Yes,
being.
it was the launch of Maxim, I would say.
Which, as the men we've grown up to be, I'm disgusted at the fact that that was what we did, but it was what happened.
Exactly.
It is
If I
what
pace
it is.
myself,
And then,
I
Evan, you were on the cover of Maxim just a short couple of years.
Life's funny like that.
sex in college.
And Martha and I went to a 7-Eleven and we
You don't want girls thinking that you
Yeah.
I still think
And you perved out over it.
and we carved out.
Something I think is funny about this scene, I guess the whole movie, but really this scene is
flirting with you and stuff.
when we all kind of lived,
Look at
when we
Jules'
were
dating
hanging
record,
at,
okay?
like when
She
we would
did
hang
Dan
out
Remick. He's got a
after,
six-pack
right
since,
after
like,
the movie
kindergarten.
came out, like Michael and I's
Jason
routine
Stone,
was
who looks
just to
like
hang
fucking
out.
Zach Morris,
And we
and
would
Matt
just like
Moore.
walk
Matt
around
Moore,
and
he's the
have
sweetest guy
conversations
ever.
together. And then once the movie came out, I think it was people like feeling like they walked into a film or something like that. Like people would just bug out because Michael and I were just shooting the shit, like doing dumb jokes, and
But that guy's a fucking
Yeah.
but we were together and they had just seen this film. So I think it was.
It is shocking for people when they see you with a famous person that you are associated with cinematically.
Yeah, but I actually get it. Like that must be really weird. If
Yeah.
you were like watching this movie and then you saw the two guys from the movie having a similar conversation, you'd be like, that's strange.
I'd be thrilled.
Breaking your fifth wall.
Some women pride themselves on their
Blows your
dictating
mind.
abilities.
It's how I see it's how I feel when I see Bill murdering people.
The fucked up
which,
thing is, I actually do. Okay, if some woman tried to copy me on my dick giving abilities, I'd
I
be
have
so-
only
Hey, yo,
seen
Seth.
this movie. I saw this movie at a preview screening,
What?
like a couple months before it came out, with Emma and her mom.
And my mom, yeah.
And we sat in the back, and that is the last time I saw this. So I am kind of like going. Like,
The volume for Bill. He needs to hear.
what's going on with these kids? These kids seem like they're in trouble. What's going on?
It's a really
No, it's
sad
like I know the
second viewing.
King's Speech better than I know Superbad. But yeah, that screening was really cool, Emma. Remember we were kind of in the back of like the Avco going like, whoa.
It was so much fun. Well, this is the first movie I ever did, so that was the first time I ever seen something that like I got to be a part of. It was so exciting.
I remember Cameron Crowe came.
What was that?
Cameron Crowe came to one of our test screenings.
Oh, I remember.
I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah, I was at that one.
And it was at the mall where they filmed Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The actual test screening was, which was
It's like somewhere in Orange County or something, right?
the Glendale Galleria, right?
Glendale. Was it Glendale?
For those of you who are not,
Oh, Hottie Martha's on screen.
Oh, Martha!
I can't imagine Greg directing this.
I
scene.
fixed my audio.
I had shingles this week, so I couldn't come to set because Christmas Boss had never had the chicken pox, so I was contagious. And I missed the entire first. I missed the entire first. I don't blame you for that. Sounded as though I'm putting it on you, and I'm not putting it on you. And I do not harbor. I don't harbor resentment towards you for this last because you had not had chicken pox. But to keep you safe, I missed the entire first week of filming the movie because I had developed shingles, which is uncommon for a 22-year-old to have shingles.
I also had shit so far.
There you go.
Didn't Michael have the flu, like
Yeah.
the worst flu a human could have?
I had
Thing, wasn't it?
I had like the worst food poisoning of my life from the Cheesecake Factory.
What was it from the Cheesecake Factory?
I don't know. I mean, I want to take that back immediately because I don't need any trouble from the Cheesecake Factory.
The funny part was that was your favorite restaurant, and then you.
I loved it. Oh, I worshipped it. I worshipped it.
You were crushed more that you couldn't go back.
It felt very personal.
Yeah,
Well,
you
I I feel like I remember it being like something so odd, like a veggie pasta.
Yeah, it was something from like,
It was a pasta. It was a
it was
pasta.
something from like page 18 of the Cheesecake Factory.
Chapter 4, section 33 of the Cheesecake. Health conscious pastas.
Michael,
Really deep cut.
Michael, wasn't that like the third day or the fourth day?
Yeah, it was really early, and the whole production got pretty much derailed.
Well, I remember
I don't remember having like a shaky start, but it sounds like we really did.
Well, they don't like giving you insurance days, and I remember, Evan, you had to like drive to Michael Cera's house and like confirm that he was in
Verify,
higher
yeah.
enough condition. Like, this man
remember that.
cannot work. He
Yeah.
can't work. And they needed, it was like a proof of life thing. Like, they needed you to verify it.
They thought I was just having cold feet or something.
Right, exactly. After being a professional actor since you were 8 years old, they thought this was the one. It was the veggie, and Cheesecake Factory had to pay for the day of filming, if I'm not mistaken.
I remember getting calls. Michael's very dehydrated. What do we do?
I've never been so sick. It was really terrible.
yeah, you were upset because you went all the time. Oh,
Marina Del Rey.
It was the end of an era. Yeah, the one in Marina Del Rey. It was the
yeah,
best
you
one.
were.
We're living at the Oakwoods.
It was right across the street. I mean, anybody who's lived at the Oakwoods in Marina Del Rey knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Not if you're an islands boy like myself.
Oh, yeah.
There's a great islands right there.
Correct. Yeah.
Islands is
Islands like in that
Oh,
park.
yeah.
Commentary is pro island.
Yeah, we are pro islands,
Honestly,
anti-Cheesecake
I am
Factory.
so pro
Big
island,
divide.
and I've never been done dirty by island like the folks at Cheesecake.
No, man, you stick with the tiki tenders.
No, I recently ate so much Cheesecake Factory, I didn't get food poisoning, and I still could not work the next day. Like, everything went the way it was supposed to go, and I was completely incapacitated.
The normal effects of it.
Yeah, like the expected effect was to completely fuck me up for 24 hours. That was a totally positive experience.
We're about to see
All right, I'll give it another shot.
young Am come through in a second, right?
Yeah,
That's right. This is
It's weird these
based
jokes
very
are going to
much-
help Joe Biden.
Yeah, exactly. This is very much based on in home ec I was finally partnered with a girl that I had a huge crush on for years and years and years and years, and it just seemed like the most organic. Like it kind of felt like you were on a date every class in a weird way. Like you were cooking together. It was like domestic role play in a weird way. And then she dated me for 2 days and then dumped me. So that's how that worked out.
Have you spoken to her since?
No, I mean, since high school, yeah, I've seen her around. Yeah, I think, yeah, she's around. She's around.
Does she know that that whole situation was based on her?
Yes, she does, very much so. And she did not clear her name for use in the film. So,
He doesn't remember it as fondly as you.
Does everyone that you and Evan went to high school with think that every single thing is about them? And
I don't really know.
a lot of the things are about them. So
Yeah, a lot of it is,
like,
man.
yeah,
Most of
a
it
lot-
is. I would say 80% of the comments are a jab at a friend.
You guys are still.
Anytime
You guys are still.
anytime you shoot in Vancouver, someone will come up to me and be like, "Hey, you know the guy? That's based on me." The lady who worked at the convenience store, the young lady, yeah, that's based on my house.
And they're all right. Is the thing. None
Right,
of them are misrepresenting
Hey,
themselves.
man. There he is.
damn, what's up,
There
guys?
it is.
There he is.
Now, the first audition between Michael, Chris, the first audition with Michael, Chris, and Jonah was a good story. Chris, how do you remember that happening?
So apparently I was terrified because I had never auditioned for anything in my life. I brought the script for you guys to sign because I didn't know the part.
Yeah, you did. I actually remember that.
That's amazing.
That actually won me over. I'm like, oh, this guy's a huge fan of mine. How do I not?
Perfect.
I don't really. I kind of blacked out in there, but apparently I shit talked Jonah in the audition, and as soon as I left, I walked out so happy and elated. Like, like, oh my God, I have a great story. And on the other side of the door, Jonah's like, don't cast that guy.
I remember that clearly because everybody who came in to read for McLovin would play it very subservient and stuff. And then you came in like with nothing to lose and we're just like, fuck you, man. And we were all like, whoa. And then I just remember we're all on top of Sunset Gower smoking. Jonah going, you hired that guy. That's like, the more you say that, the more we're gonna hire.
I know. He was fucking up my shit. He was stepping all over my lines. He kept arguing back.
Yeah, thank you for helping me get the part then, I guess.
No, you were brilliant. I just probably couldn't get some of my jokes off, and I was probably so frustrated at my 1 second of not personal spotlight.
It was very sweet because I remember Michael just started laughing during the audition. Like, Michael's pretty even, but because Michael was like, "Oh my God, this kid doesn't give a shit."
I mean, it was pretty. I mean, it's like nothing I've ever seen of someone who's never auditioned for a movie having character straight up down.
Me too.
Exactly how he did it the second he came in. It was pretty remarkable to think about.
Then he had to read with me and Seth, and I just remember us like giggling all the time because we were like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
It was very exciting for me because I read with a lot of people before Jonah too. I don't know if you guys remember, but there was.
Yeah. Oh yes, Michael was the first one cast in the movie and literally read with people for like 6 months or some shit.
We would have conversations about like, are we fatiguing him? Should we back off for a day and come back in?
He seems like young and spry. Yeah.
I didn't know I was cast. I don't think I knew that. It felt like a protracted audition process. And then I got a phone call from Jonah one day saying, "Hey, we're going to do this movie together." And I was so excited because I already knew Jonah from around and I thought he was like the funniest person ever. But he never occurred to me for some reason. And then it was so exciting. And then when it was me and Jonah and Chris reading, it was like suddenly the whole thing crystallized into this, this great formation that just felt really great and fun. And kind of the whole thing.
A trifecta is the word you were looking for.
Trifecta. Because there's 3 of us.
Hey Chris.
For
Chris. Allison Jones claims that the first time you came to audition, you were actually there just to support your buddy. You weren't auditioning yourself. Is that true?
Yeah, because I guess you guys sent emails out to like department or something. You couldn't find McLovin, so you sent emails out, and one of my buddies heard about the audition the night before, and that you guys needed to see what we looked like the night before. So I sent like a really crappy. We didn't have iPhones back then. It was a photo at like 1 a.m. I sent it to you guys, and I just went with 2 of my friends.
Like at auditions, they hand out the headshot, and it was all these professional headshots. And it looked, off his MySpace page, it literally looked like the nicest,
It was like the equivalent of like when you get a business card that like someone else's name is scratched out and they write their name.
Exactly. You're like, oh, this person's the contact.
Greg, remember how you had to shoot all the penises because the kids could never actually see a penis?
Oh yeah, we had to shoot them all separately. We did some of them on the set of
Pineapple Express.
Pineapple Express, yeah, we went to the Pineapple Express set and shot a bunch of penis drawings.
Well, you got to add to that the Pineapple Express set was in the middle of the fucking woods.
Yeah.
Desk into the middle of the woods.
In the middle of the night, in the middle of the woods, we shot a bunch of penis drawings. Evan's brother did.
Go get some dessert.
Martha, you had been, of course, Emily New Moon.
Of course.
I believe. So you came into the set with a lot of experience comparatively. And I knew the whole time you were holding us against your experience on, and you were comparing every second of it to that of Emily New Moon.
Yeah, that's accurate. That's very I had never been on a comedy set before. I was just doing like weird Canadian melodrama.
That's how me and Evan saw this.
And they were like, "These are dicks. Dicks are funny," and I was like,
Emily of New Moon had quirky moments. There were
it was a riot. The 4 people that are watching this that know what we're talking about.
Michael's one of them.
You said something earlier about like a fake ID or something,
I was terrified this day. I think this was like the first day Judd came. I think this might have been early, if I'm remembering.
There was a dark mood.
It was early.
I remember how hard it was to figure out what shirt to put on Jonah. What's the T-shirt for the whole movie?
Yeah, it's hard to pick wardrobe when they're in one thing the whole time.
That is an amazing shirt.
It is.
It's a good one. I feel like they started selling it at Urban Outfitters afterwards.
So you do want
They
alcohol? You want
did,
some sort of
and
alcohol?
I haven't seen this movie since it came out either. And Tola, I'm noticing how beautifully the energy of the camera moves are. Like the movie moves really fucking cool and fast. It's awesome.
Yeah, no,
Thanks.
also
did
the
ask
first thing shot on video.
Yeah.
That's also
I was on where I was like, oh, this is
Really
video.
nice. I don't think I've ever
But you
done
got to
it.
remind people how much people thought that was a shitty idea back then.
Oh,
People
yeah.
really didn't think video was going to work out well. Greg really started proving.
No, they liked it. And one time, Janusz Kaminski told me he thinks Superbad is one of the best looking digital movies that was ever shot.
Wow.
And that's your.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Russ Hasselbrook, who shot Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, and I purposely withheld that information from you so you wouldn't get an inflated ego about this whole thing. But now you
Was this
know.
the first day of shooting, this scene right here?
Yeah, although we did come back and shoot some more
You know
stuff.
what that means? By some divine
There's a young Dave
Like
Franco.
actually thought of me.
There's a young Dave Franco in this scene.
Yep.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite jokes of the film
Me too.
Yeah.
because it doesn't add anything to the plot.
No.
Wait, what do you mean?
Exactly. It is.
You guessing.
DTF.
Oh, this is funny. Oh, so DTF. Let me just say this. So DTF was a tagging crew of kids I grew up with who became an artists collective who were very, very pissed off that I used DTF.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Their crew stood for down to fuck. That was what their tagging crew stand for. And I thought it was very obviously ridiculous even at that age. And after the music came out, they were furious at me. They were like full beef. And then obviously Jersey Shore and the situation went on, and then they really got pissed off.
and
The 3 years of my life after this movie came out, I cannot tell you how many people shouted at me across like malls or like parking lots. You DTF! I heard it all the time. I was like, damn it!
Wow.
Pancake.
Everybody,
For a while.
everybody shouted McLovin at me for 10 years.
Everyone, I think all the youth characters associated with all the people in this movie
We've all just been shouted at.
we've all been shouted at quite a bit.
Well, while we were shooting this movie, Jonah, though, you had just been accepted, and I remember we were shooting in the high school, and some kids walked by while we were shooting a scene and screamed, "Hey, ask me about my wiener!" And you were just like, "Oh, like I could do without that happening. I'll tell you that much."
Little did I know that wiener-based words would be shouted at me well into my adulthood.
Could you give me like
Oh, what a...
vodka?
And we were always curious if the Jersey Shore DTF was definitively based on the movie. And then one night, me and Jonah hung out. Well, they told us that night, but you probably don't remember that well.
I don't remember that night at all, to be honest.
Because one night after the MTV Video Music Awards, me and Jonah got it's like if you like try to box with like Mike Tyson. That's what it's like trying to drink with the cast of the Jersey Shore.
Honestly, in a career of heavy drinking, that was the most fucked up I've ever been.
I stopped. I think I stopped drinking after that.
Except there's one scene in this film where I can't wait till we get to it so I can embarrassingly tell how I thought I was, for any young actors out there that think you should be like method and like get wasted, that's what I thought. And I'm blackout drunk in the scene where I try and kiss Emily, and then then Scott Robertson, who we should mention is one of my good friends and our first AD, and I work with him too. And he then said there was another scene where I wasn't drunk directly afterwards. So there's a scene where I'm not supposed to be drunk and I am just like completely blackout. And whenever I would watch the film when it came out, I was like, that's crazy that exists forever.
That's a scheduling oversight.
Well, maybe you shouldn't drink. Maybe you shouldn't drink heavily as an actor in order to portray drunk.
That's
You don't have to kill somebody to shoot a scene where you're murdering somebody.
I was a PA for Scott, and he fired me once. That was my first day on set. He goes, "Weren't you a PA?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Were you a PA on K-Pax?" Yeah. And he goes, "Didn't I fire you?" So we had a PA-AD relationship the whole movie. I'll point out a moment where it's when at the end of the movie when I pull up and I'm singing Panama, I couldn't stop on a mark. And Scott screamed on me. He screamed on me.
Don't make me fire you again.
Yeah, he was like, "God, I should fire you again." I'm like, I was great.
A lot. At the premiere, we had these McLovin IDs that the attendees of the premiere and a lot of my friends from high school have on their fridges, like them in the like McLovin ID on their refrigerators.
It's still on my parents' fridge. I'm currently like at home at my parents' place, and it's on.
I had a leak in my back house and it got mold and that got destroyed and it like one of my favorite possessions.
A true disaster.
I'll send you the one from my parents' house.
We had the greatest. We had a prom rap party, so like under the sea.
El Cid.
Yeah.
It was really good. I just saw a picture from that today.
I was gonna say too, the photos from that are like the funny. Like every photo is awesome from that event.
I think I have a Polaroid of like me and
Em and I look dressed up, but you and Michael for some reason don't look dressed up, and Em and I are.
Yeah, you guys are in like
for some reason.
Like long gloves and pull down.
I think that reason was we both owned like t-shirts and like 3 pairs of like shorts.
For some reason involving tastelessness.
Wasn't there a thing here in the movie where Sony wouldn't let us show a Sony video game or something like that?
Jonah could not touch any Sony product throughout the show. Specifically,
And
nor
Pepsi refused. Pepsi.
And Pepsi. And Jonah could not interact with any Pepsi product, although other characters in the film are allowed to interact with Pepsi products.
And you know what? Hey, came back and bites you in the ass.
Yeah, exactly. Boom.
Yeah, where's Pepsi now?
Yeah, dude.
Exactly.
That Kendall Jenner ad or whatever they did. Like, I stand by my decision. That was the decision.
Did you audition 1,000 times, Emma? I honestly can't remember how that process played out.
I don't think I auditioned 1,000 times. I remember Allison Jones called me in because I had auditioned for her a bunch for different things. And then I went and I improvised with Jonah. I came in with you guys and Jonah and I we did like a long improvised scene. I think that was it.
That was it. Sometimes it just works.
No, I think I went to a table read before I was cast. Didn't I? And Jonah, you were reading like different parts.
Yeah, I read Joe Latruglio's part.
Yeah.
Oh, and I read the set?
Yes, it was early on.
It was so early. Yeah, I aged out of the role eventually. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Emma, and you guys read those roles, and I think Martin read the Christmas Plus role. Maybe I want to say. I can't remember honestly.
It might have been Martin. Yeah.
I don't know, or Michael Cera. I honestly don't remember.
I don't think I was there.
He's gonna hear you. Just be quiet.
Well, we did that reading way back at Superbad 5 years earlier. The first
with
reading.
me and Jason Segel.
Yeah.
And Kyle Gass and David Krumholtz.
Were the cops. That was the real late 90s version of the movie.
There's a photo from this day where, because my throat gets slit, and I have the throat
Oh.
of me, Shauna Robertson, who we should shout out, who's our homie who produced the movie, he's the best. And then and Stormy Daniels for some reason was there that day. And Shauna sent me the picture of me, Shauna, and Stormy Daniels with my throat completely slit. I wish I had it here. Dude, it's the most fucked up picture.
In the Fantastic Voyage?
No.
She was not in the Fantastic Voyage.
I don't know why she was there.
She was like at the premiere or something.
It might have been a behind the scenes.
To set because that's all I heard about when I showed up.
It might have been.
I think we were meeting with her for a behind-the-scenes feature from Pineapple Express.
But we haven't shot that movie yet.
Yeah, but I think we were talking to her about doing that on that set.
Maybe.
She was a big part of our world for many years. I remember that they did a prank on Seth. I think it was during 40-Year-Old Virgin, where he walks in his trailer and Stormy is there, and they put like a temporary tattoo of Seth's face on her breast, and it was that was a fun DVD extra that I think still exists somewhere.
It might still exist, which is horrifying to think about. Yeah,
I keep a fake version of this alcohol on my counter with all my alcohol. It's a nice memory I have.
Gold Slick vodka.
The amount of times that I get offered a glass of Gold Slick vodka that doesn't exist is...
Do you really?
Plenty.
I have a question for the filmmakers. At what point did you start seeing stuff like cut together or dailies where you thought this is going to be a really funny, like it's working, it's a funny movie?
We would get, I think, cuts every week, right? Isn't that how it would kind of work at the time?
We were. Yeah. I remember the first time we sat down and watched the whole thing, and I had like a sick feeling in my stomach. that one usually does when you sit down and watch the whole thing together for the first time. But then
it was the first preview was the best, maybe the best preview of any of the movies. The first preview was like, it was rocking so hard right from the get-go.
Yeah, well, that's what was so shocking is that it wasn't that far until we showed it to an audience, and it was like, wow, we're kind of there.
It's so crazy when we would see it with the audience, like they just clicked in immediately. Like how rare is that? It's just so crazy, like right away.
Oh, thank fucking God. You always know. I remember when we were doing 4-Year-Old Virgin, there's that joke involving the boner at the beginning, and Judd was like, if they laugh at that boner, we're fine. And then, it's like, if they laugh at the first joke, then you're usually okay for the rest of the movie. And if they don't laugh at the first joke, then it's sometimes a rough screening experience. Someone just commented, I tried to get my mom to watch this. She made it 2 minutes. So thanks for that audience commentary. What's funny is my mother would read this script throughout my childhood and give me creative notes on it. Which is crazy to think about in retrospect.
How were her notes?
Well, what's fun, I actually think the idea that, we find Fogel at the end and we think he's overage, and so we try to arrest him for, being with an underage girl came from my mother, which is...
That's great.
Which explains a lot.
Clever. That's very clever.
It is. Follow my mom on Twitter.
Well, people, it took forever to get someone to want to make it. And, so we added another producer on to, that we thought would have more pull to help us get it made. And then he got a job as the head of Paramount Pictures. And we thought, well, now we're definitely going to get it made. And then the first thing he did as the head of Paramount Pictures was tell us he's not making the movie.
Yeah.
Would you like to name, can you name that person? Would you like to name that?
No, he's a, yeah.
He's a nice man. He's a nice
reason
guy.
We're not mad at him. We usually are mad at those people, but it all worked out. But we won't call him out.
No. A lot of
But he knows. He's watching.
Robert
I was just giving you a
Evans.
chance to speak.
Definitely watching.
He works for Pepsi now.
Yeah.
and Cheesecake Factory. He spent a little time at Cheesecake Factory.
Pepsi rep at the Cheesecake Factory.
Pepsi jacket on at home.
I was going to say, I remember watching dailies like every day. You know, when we would eat lunch, there was a dailies truck, which was an amazing place. To, you know, you'd step in there. It was like a little theater, and we would watch the stuff from yesterday, and it was really exciting. I mean, it made you feel really excited about the work you're doing, and you know, we would all laugh together and kind of start seeing the movie. That was a very unique experience.
I remember people saying that it was weird that they all were allowed to see it and that they never got to see any footage until like way after, and we just all thought that was insane. I'll never understand why people like keep it away. Some actors like to not see any of it. I get that.
It was fun. I don't. Do they still do that with the little theater in the trailer? Well, no one does anything now. That would be a poisonous, that would be a death trap. But
do you still did you do that, Judd? Bill? Anybody?
Daily trailer. I think we all stopped.
We don't have a trailer. We don't have a trailer. No. We don't do that.
it eventually became the place everyone would take a nap because you're all kind of tired at lunch, and it was always like dark and kind of warm in there, and I feel like everyone would fall asleep.
Well, also the elephant in the room is you can never see what you were eating, and then we'd all have our phones, and we would try to eat, and it was very problematic, and then you go hungry back to set.
I remember on 4-Year-Old Virgin, I was there 1 day or 2 days, I guess, and then the first day, Judd and Seth, we broke for lunch, and they were like, "Do you want to come eat lunch in the Dailies trailer?" And I was like, "Sure." I had no idea what it was. For people watching, it's literally a movie theater inside of a truck.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh, cool.
I was watching the dailies, which are just like raw footage of Steve Carell getting his chest waxed.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, whoa! I was like, this is like a new kind of awesome comedy. And it was really cool. It was like one of those like really cool moments from my youth that I'll cherish.
You're like, is this what movies are? You just rip flesh off of people?
It was just so awesome. It was just
And
so
Steve
cool.
was like, "Let me never do anything like this ever again."
Total is 96.59.
She was great.
She was great. She could roll with everything. She was so good.
Wait, so Martha, was this your first movie too? So how did
TV in Canada, but not anything close to this level.
So
When I
Martha?
was working in the States, I was just like, what is life down here? This is weird.
Martha, I have a funny story with us where I had a full taxi driver moment by accident where you didn't know anybody and we went to go see a movie and we saw a movie at the New Art and it was about X-rated. It was a documentary about X-rated films. And like it was full taxi driver. Like I was like, yeah, we're in LA, I'll take you to go see a movie. And we went into the New Art, which is like so sketchy anyway. And it was just like full penetration within like 60 seconds of the documentary.
You're like, look, people watch these movies. Where are you going?
I tried to be smart and take you to a documentary. And
That's when I knew we were going to be friends.
I know, and then it was like, we luckily laughed about it and knew we'd do both. It was
Yeah,
great.
like one day I looked over at you and I was like, oh, he's uncomfortable. Okay, this is all right. Like he's not super into it.
I was already anxious to be in a movie with like someone I didn't know, and that really put me through the ringer. But
That was one of my favorite going to the movie.
we saw The Who one night. Remember when we saw The Who and they refused to play their hits?
That sounds like fun.
Pancake and I went to go to the Hollywood Bowl after shooting one night. And
We have to clarify that.
Emily, yeah.
So not aware.
That came from this movie. That came from this movie.
How'd you know?
We sat in like the dead last row too.
Yeah, we sat at the top of the Hollywood Bowl, and the Who was like, "Don't worry, we're playing all new stuff."
All this-
You all came for none of our hits.
Like,
None of our. Finally, I'm curious. Here's what we've been up to.
And when we say new stuff, we mean in the past year and a half, not like new 15 years. But Em and I call each other pancake or falafel, which came from us joking around one day while shooting this film. I pancake this anymore.
I didn't even know you could get arrested for this shit.
And it's stuck for however many years. This
How long has it been? We did this in 2006.
The money, man. Fuck. How much money can you get?
Six?
Why are you talking about money, man?
That's
What about
nuts.
Yeah, 14 years.
I lost $100.
We got a question. Bill and Seth, did you go to top school to portray your character? Did you go to
Me
cop
and Bill actually
good
did
question.
go we went on a police ride along in what
South
is
Central.
still one of the most genuine.
Cars are kind of like 70s and you
Yeah.
kind of can't tell what era it is, even though it's modern. I feel
They
like
both
Time
take
Out
place.
had that too.
They're both in a place called Clark County, which is not a real place, obviously. It's our fictional land where adventures are about.
Like your Gotham City.
It's our Gotham. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we would try to buy. I mean, what's funny is in high school, like, yeah, people started to get good fake IDs, and like we started, like, this shit all like could not speak more. What's funny is throughout the entire promotion of this film, I had to lie that I'd seen American Graffiti because everyone would ask, "Have you seen American Graffiti?" And I would have to be like, "Yeah, of course I've seen American Graffiti. What kind of respecting writer hasn't seen American Graffiti?" And literally 2 weeks ago, for the first time, I watched American Graffiti, and I was like, I get why everyone was asking why I had seen it. If I had seen it, they're very similar movies. It is remarkable that we actually.
I still haven't seen American Graffiti. I don't know why. I resist it.
Yeah, it's not. Well, it's
Good.
It's fine.
It's good, not great.
No, it is
Star
great.
Wars.
It is great.
No.
It's great.
I agree to disagree.
I love Cindy
You're
Williams.
wrong,
but-
Evan. You're wrong.
That sounds like she really wants it.
Your opinion doesn't.
To her, huh, my man?
We're
Evan,
up
what
to
Evan,
$195,000, by the way. So
Great.
everybody.
and
out-
Michael's tripling that, so we have that too.
Was it yeah, we were going to talk about
Tripling,
that.
yeah. Evan, what was this surreal for you to see this whole experience come together? Because
I always saw it all coming. I knew this was going to happen from the get-go. Since I was about 6 or 7, I just had this vision of meeting this other Jew, going to America, meeting this other Jew, meeting a few other Jews and a bunch of Canadians. I always. So
I think
no.
it's pretty funny that your brother did all those dick drawings and he's a lawyer.
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
best. And every now and then, like for charity or something, I'll be like, I need you to do this dick. And he'll be like, oh, give me 3 weeks. I got a big case right now. I'll get to it soon.
3 weeks to draw.
No, to get over the legal case. And then he gets to it and does it one night.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
He needs dicks. My brother still does it. He does it. Just ask.
Huh?
Sorry, Martha.
I saw somebody once and they came up and they were like, "Look what I just got!" And I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Look at my tattoo!" And it was just a huge dick drawing from the movie. Like, leg was just.
And that person is the current president of the United States.
Isn't this funny?
Yeah.
I know you, Marky. This is
So there's not everything bad about it. Yeah.
very nearly an
That's
assault.
just one good quality.
One of the weird things about people like asking what's real and not is people are like, and the cops? You're like, of course that didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. We a lot of this, Chris, not a lot of it, but you, because you were a young child, you couldn't be there as many hours as we were. So some of this was done with a body double who would just sit there as me and Bill improvised at him.
Poor guy. Yeah, this poor guy would just kind of sit there, and he was. I didn't know if he spoke English or.
Yeah, he would just kind of.
Either were not funny.
You guys would
Poor
improv
Chris.
out.
It was Michael's first movie. He didn't have to go to school. And remember when
Yeah,
Chris,
it was
I feel
huge.
so bad in retrospect, but we would laugh when Chris had to get pulled away to school.
Literally in between every take and every break, I was doing math problems. When you guys brought up the Dailies trailer, I was like, I would see you guys walking off to the Dailies trailer, and I would just have
To literally go like play Goldeneye and watch like dailies from the movie, and Chris had to do like algebra homework.
Terrible.
Michael was thought he was so
Yeah.
big time because it was his first
Oh,
movie. with
I
notes.
was free. is running free.
Pulls out for summer.
I think we've been told that we could do a raffle of a dick pic if Evan's brother could draw.
Yes, of course.
Penis. Anyone who donates on the tonight during this screening will be in the raffle. So make another donation, and you will be up for Evan. What would the penis be doing in this raffle?
I mean, some political. I'm not the talent in this department.
There was a penis drawing. There was a penis drawing that looks like Donald Trump in the penis drawing.
There's a few dangerously prophetic penis drawings in there that you made.
Little do we know that's your brother's superpower is he can predict the future only when drawing.
Yes, he's tried it with regular faces.
Yeah, it doesn't work. He goes into a trance and just at the end like a future predictive penis.
Yeah, no one's ever actually seen him making one, so
his eyes just glass over.
Yeah. And it just looks like Steve Bannon. You're like, how did that happen so many years ago?
Yeah. This party is based on a party. I did stand-up comedy when I was young, and one time one of the comedians invited me and Evan and our friend Fogel to one of their like adult parties. And it was wild.
I have never felt like I shouldn't have been anywhere more in my life today than that event.
Yeah, and it felt like this. I mean, it felt like we were in genuine peril. And
we had to tone it down from what actually happened. There was some shit that happened at the real thing that just wouldn't have been believable in a film.
But the idea that Michael Cera's locked in a room with a bunch of adults doing cocaine is very much based on a
terrifying moment.
A terrifying real experience.
I remember a man insulted Seth's mother.
Yes.
He showed up to pick us up, and a grown man insulted her in front of us.
A grown man tried to pick a fight with me at this party, and there was a pig roaming free at the party that
it lightly bit my foot.
And it bit
not like in a painful way, but it bit me.
Nibbled your foot?
It nibbled me.
Took a little nibble.
I'm curious about what led you guys to cut the pig from the scene when you were writing it.
I think there was a moment where we were like
pitching that to Judd, and then there's a pig, Judd. Trust us.
Yeah, exactly. It happened. Fine line we're threading. Yeah.
Chris, didn't you break your wrist?
I did. Yeah. I don't think it was here, but it was coming up. I was 17 when we made this, so on Halloween I got drunk for my third time ever, I think, and tripped and fell on my wrist, and
I totally forgot that.
I remember you broke your wrist and you said I was trick-or-treating and I started giving you shit, and then by the end of it I was like, next year I should go trick-or-treating. We were so confident.
Yeah, I had to wear a mask.
I got a candy.
Yeah. So you've got a cast under your shirt for a lot of the movie.
A lot of it, yeah, and sometimes you have to take it out. But yeah, during the second half of this movie,
wow, I totally forgot that.
Yeah, I forgot that too.
And that was a great actor, Clem, who was in Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah, he was.
Clem, who plays the crazy guy there.
Yes.
Martha, do you remember? I fell from a tree.
I was just gonna say that.
I got hurt.
Convenience store scene.
Yeah.
You and Jonah went to a park at lunch.
we were legitimately children.
And you thought it would be funny to ride this very thin branch that looked like a penis.
Yeah, hanging. It snapped and it hit me in the face on the way down.
Your cut lip.
Completely cut my lip open. Yeah, I have a cut lip.
But
yeah. Well, I know the scene where we all get drunk and I vomit. I was suffering that night from a cut lip for sure. I don't know if you can see.
You had gone through suffering.
I've been suffering.
There's Carla Gallo.
Carla Gallo.
Carla. Just killing it.
This was the scene we weren't sure
This scene we really painted ourselves into a corner with, I remember thinking. Because I remember, like, there was no way around it. Like, if it didn't work, there was nothing to do to bridge the gap if we had to remove it in some way. So I remember being like, if they don't laugh at this, we are fucked. Like, there's high stakes for this joke.
Behind Michael here is me and the real Fogel in the deep background.
Yeah.
Such a cowardly cameo.
Yes,
you know
exactly.
It's illegal. I didn't have the visa for that. I wasn't.
Oh, you didn't have the visa.
It's like, oh, I don't want to intrude too much.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just back there.
Sorry, but I'm back.
You just need a couple bodies. We'll just
right back there.
I don't want to smoke.
You can see his kind of goofy silhouette in the background
That's
there.
totally
Yeah.
Track pants.
Yeah, that's totally your pants.
Background of this scene, we got Danny McBride and Jody Hill
Yeah.
and Ben Best. I remember meeting them, and we had just seen Foot Fist Way, and they had just come into our orbit, and I was so starstruck to meet Danny. It was... I could not...
Danny's an extra in the scene.
Yeah.
And my friend Nick Jasinovic has a line in this, actually.
He's one of the Coke guys.
One of the Coke guys.
The Coke guys is a star-studded pack of guys.
And then Greg and my friend Kevin Bresnahan's also in this scene.
Yeah.
Great actor.
Kevin's great in this movie.
Yeah.
I remember when Kevin. So there's a moment where.
Oh God, I know what you're about to say, Michael.
He got like the bottle cut him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was very upset. He was very upset. As he should have been.
Wait, what?
Look, there's Jody and Ben. There's Jody and Ben.
There's McBride in the background.
Yeah, he's old boy. Yeah, he's got his Foot Fist Way haircut, dude. He's literally...
It's a universe crossover.
Yeah, this is so cool.
No, at the end of
And that's
this
Danny in the background. Danny McBride's right in the background.
Yeah.
This is Eastbound and Down, like, it's like Sam Jackson at the end of Marvel.
So
You know.
What's funny is that we had access to the cast of Foot This Way, and we decided Danny should be in the background, and then Jody and Ben just carry the dramatic weight of the scene.
Man, I think Eastbound and Down could be my favorite show of all time.
It's a very funny show. I remember I was writing a pilot, and then I watched the pilot for that, and I literally threw mine away and then stopped writing it.
We're very close to 200,000.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Oh, we hit it. We hit it.
Cool. And once we hit that, we just stop, right?
Michael.
Yeah,
600,000 because of Mike.
Everybody takes off their tops and it's the end.
250. Michael sings These Eyes.
That's
God. Oh, yeah, that won't fall flat. Singing These Eyes on Zoom.
Exactly.
Sounds like a recipe for success.
That would be awkward if Burton Cummings did it.
Canada's own.
You guys will all sit there quietly watching me.
Exactly. Just
trying to support me somehow.
You also sang the thong song. That was like an alt.
Yeah, I think I was pushing hard for that. I was pushing hard because I used to sing the thong song for my friends, and they loved it. So I thought it would be
I think we
universally
were
loved.
Totally with you on that, and then it just came down to...
It didn't work, right?
Yeah. The lyrics to the thong song are crazy, though.
Yeah.
What are they? Is there a part where he says your dress? Is there a part where he says your dress unique? Is that one of the lyrics of the song?
Oh, it could be. Your dress unique.
Yeah.
There's a semicolon there. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? You know the song "It Wasn't Me" by Shaggy?
Oh, of course.
The plot of that song is insane. He's essentially saying, "Hey, my girlfriend saw me having sex," and the other guy's like, "You need to gaslight her into thinking that what she saw was just not you."
Just convince her she's crazy.
That's the whole plot.
Yeah.
Every time.
Well, it's been great.
It's been good, guys.
Oh, did we do it? Oh, cool. Okay.
We done it.
Done. The movie's done.
We're essentially there. I can cover that last 150.
$200 dead.
Wasn't there a third song we did besides Thong Song and These Eyes?
It was just a dance, just a pure dance,
Oh,
like
it's a pure
interpretive
dance.
dance.
A pure dance option.
Right? I think. Yeah.
Well,
I remember-
you want to talk about pure dance, Michael?
Let's talk about pure dance for a while.
The opening credits of the movie are Michael and Jonah dancing, and we
200,000. We did it.
Oh, nice. Hold that thought, Evan. Hold that thought.
Wait, what happens now? We've exceeded it.
Yeah, we go to 250 with Michael singing These Eyes, I think.
New goal.
New goal.
2:15, Michael's going to sing.
It has to happen. Well, back
All right, sure, I'll do it.
And we want to remind everyone to vote. Like, make sure you're organized to vote. A lot of people, it's complicated. You know, you got your forms and you got to fill them out and you got to check your judges. It's hard to pick a judge. I find it's hard to pick a judge or a local
I find it easy.
alderman.
Comptroller. Yeah. I think Judd was the one who came up with These Eyes. Isn't that correct? Wasn't that your idea?
I love the Burton Cummings. I love it. I like the idea of Michael singing the fast parts.
Yeah.
The breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no
The scat section.
It really makes me laugh.
Yeah, what happens, the thing Michael was referring to is an actor had a fake beer bottle thrown at his head, and I remember him really going into deep conversation with the stunt coordinator, like, this is not going to hurt me, right? And the guy's like, no, boy, bottle won't hurt. He's like, I just concerned that it's going to hurt. And I was like, promise it's going to hurt. Breakaway, it's going to be fine. And then on the first take, they said action, and the stunt guy threw the bottle right at his head, and the corner just pinked off his forehead, and blood started to dribble down his head. And with a look of rage, he turned to, I think, whoever was beside him and said, I'm bleeding, aren't I?
Yeah.
To which we
He's
all...
like, is it bad?
Is it bad? And then he was informed that take was not good, and we actually had to continue throwing bottles at his forehead.
Focus was soft. We got to do it again.
You're not supposed to bleed.
Don't bleed
Can you try it without bleeding? Yeah.
Yeah, and he was a good friend of mine, so that helps.
Still friends.
Yeah.
He's a great dude, great actor.
Yeah, he is.
He's a great guy. Guys, I'm prepping for a colonoscopy tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to get up a lot.
Oh, geez.
Is that true?
No.
You said,
Yeah, you're a good actor. You should
you really sold it. Why did you not do this?
Oh, there he is. And that's Nick Jasinovic next to him.
David Krumholtz there.
Our good friend David.
Powerhouse. Musa.
Martin Starr.
Dude, Martin looks dope there. Martin looks so good.
Martin works a pork pie hat like nobody.
But he just like his whole vibe there is just a good look for him, like the beard and the hat. There's Kevin.
Krumholtz, so funny.
Yeah.
There's a running gag that you look like someone named Jimmy's brother, and throughout the years, people have asked me what that is about. I have no answer for them. But a lot of people ask me questions about the movie I wish I had better answers for. That's become a recurring theme in my life over the last 14 years. Is people really, they read into this shit. Someone recently was like, about me and you, Bill, they were like, are you guys talking about how good Revenge of the Sith is because you know he's underage and that he wouldn't understand references to the original Star Wars? And I said no. That's not at all. That's not at all what we're doing.
I have a question for Chris, which is like while you were shooting it, having this brand new cool experience, did you at all realize like that your character would become this kind of like famous character, or the movie would be whatever, or any of that stuff?
No, I mean, absolutely not. I mean, like even after filming, I had to go back to my senior year of school, so it never felt real. Like I thought the movie was gonna come out and make a couple bucks and then like go away. Like I had no idea of what could happen now.
That must have been insane.
And now I'll be wearing my mask out in public and still get called McLovin 14 years later.
What a hell you live in.
No, it's
Well, it's a brilliant. It's a testament to your brilliant performance.
I honestly, I say I've never worked with someone who was so confident. Like Chris was confident, just like, yeah, I'm good. We can turn around.
Yeah.
I'm like, where the fuck did this come from?
No, it's
You
true.
sure you don't want another one? He was like, no.
Yeah. He would just be so psyched about the snacks and all that, like all the time. That was the most.
They got Starburst over there. Man, I'm gonna bring some for my house.
I remember me and you, Bill, spent a whole day convincing Chris that the movie Short Circuit was real.
It was a documentary.
Yeah, that it was based on. Yeah, that it was based on
I
fact.
remember you going.
You guys really committed to that.
Well, it was a weird thing because he didn't know what Short Circuit was. I don't think so. We were like, yeah, no. It's a
Well, we had been talking about it all day. Yeah, well, we'd been talking about it, and finally he was like, "What are you guys talking about?" And we were like, "This movie Short Circuit," and he's like, "What is it?" And I think as a joke, one of us just said it's a documentary, and he went, "Oh, really?" And then we were like, "Oh, I think we could convince him that it's a documentary."
It went from being really funny to like maybe slightly dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, there's this guy, Steve Gutenberg was an actor, and he stopped being an actor and became a doctor. He was like, are you serious? Man, I gotta check this out. Oh. And then we told Michael and Jonah about it, and then they did it. I just have an image of Michael coming over to me going like, yeah, that's no bullshit. Like, he fully believes it.
Yeah. Jay Leno show on like opening weekend, and they broke the news to me that it's a real movie on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
What? Are you serious?
Wait, what happened?
So there's footage of your whole world collapsing.
You remember
Just like
I didn't know what it was in the
SpongeBob
first place.
meme.
I remember being on Jay Leno.
Dude, I remember being on Jay Leno. I actually, all my memories are really funny from like when the movie was coming out and Michael, Chris, and I were traveling like together. Like those were.
That was really fun.
I remember a bit about Cokie the Dragon. We ran
Oh my
In
god.
Atlanta, because we drove by the Coke factory.
Do I remember? I think about it all the time.
It was the dumbest thing. You know, it's like one of those things where you do a bit. I do it a lot. You just drag it into the ground, and it's just not funny anymore. And our
Take the life out of
driver,
it.
poor guy, who was just like, please stop.
Okay, so we were driving in Atlanta. We were doing press in Atlanta, and we drove by the Coca-Cola factory, and we were just delirious. And for some reason, Bill thought just was like, I don't even know why we thought a dragon. What was it? How did it happen? I don't know how it happened.
The dragon that guarded the Cokes. It was like a dragon guarded all the Cokes, and his name was Cokie, and it set a guy on fire, and the guy who was on fire spoke with an electronic voice.
Yeah, that's right. The electronic voice. Yeah.
He wasn't mad at him or anything. He's like, he understood.
No.
I worked with Cokie for so
Yeah.
long.
And you're not supposed to. You were not supposed to look at Cokie, and that was the mistake he made.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. That was it because so I did the one thing I shouldn't have done.
Oh shit! I'm looking at Cokie.
Yeah, that's
And then, no joke, we almost died in a car accident. Immediately after. Yeah, we literally, at like the height of laughing at this dumb bit, did a full like Goodfellas third act, like screech into the car in front of us, and we all thought we were gonna die. And what happened right before that happened was Bill looked out the back window and I'll never forget it, and was like, oh shit, oh shit, we're about to get hit by this car. And then it was like an insane pile up, and somehow we didn't get fucked up.
We clipped a car.
The mirror on the driver's side mirror just flew up in the
Yeah,
air.
that's how close it was. Yeah.
We were like, and then 5 minutes later, we're on some radio show. They're like, so, what was your high school?
And by the way, Chris slept through the whole thing. I remember Chris was asleep in the back seat. He was like, what happened? What's going on?
Like, hey, guys, what's going on?
Those trips were remarkably fun.
I remember
And
Chris
the-
looking out the window and seeing Atlanta for the first time. And just going like, man, look at all those trees.
Dude, Chris, it was crazy. I mean, dude, you were literally, it was like your summer after high school.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And we were like going all around the world. It was very surreal. It must have been very surreal.
Yep.
All right, dude. Can I just say in Florida, do you remember there was like when you were on a press tour and they're like, okay, this is so-and-so, she's gonna help you out. If you need anything, go to her or whatever. And like we told Chris, like ask her to get like something crazy, and I forgot what it was. And just seeing Chris like whisper in her ear, it was like it's something we're never gonna do, but we're like ask her for trust. And just see her ear and the look on this woman's face of like, oh, what do I do? We're like, we're joking.
Dude, I feel Chris was like our brother. I've since apologized to Chris, but I was definitely like a bullyish big brother to Chris on Twitter, and I regret it deeply because he's such a lovely guy.
Oh, dude, that was the dynamic. It worked. It was all good.
It worked. He respects a comedic dynamic.
As long as you're terribly regretful, it's all good.
Oh, I love Chris, and those memories are like some of my best memories. When we went to fucking Spain, and the craziest thing was it was called like Super Horny or something like that, and they fucking had an actress dubbing Emily's voice. And on the poster was the Spanish famous actress that dubbed her voice, and Michael and I were seeing her legs, like looking like hurt. It was a woman who wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
Right, Michael?
Never appears in the movie.
Just not M.
And it's terrible because the poster of the movie is me and Jonah like this, like, and then it says super horny underneath. It's so awful that we're just like these little perverts in the Spanish version.
Of like the Natalie Portman of Spain, who just her voice and like put her on the poster. Oh,
that's wonderful.
Dude. And Michael meeting his voice twin, his
yeah, David. I'm still in touch with him. His name was David in Italy. And he was like, "You are the first of my actors I have ever met. I have voiced Elijah Wood since Radio Flyer." And he was riding a Vespa around Rome, like, you know, buzzing through the traffic, and we saw people doing this and like almost dying, and we were like, "Isn't that scary when you ride through the cars like that?" And he went, "I'm very afraid for my life."
Every second is a waking nightmare. I don't know why I do it.
Holy shit, man. There's so many funny stories from that trip. Like when the ghost haunted you, Michael, and you asked the ghost passive aggressively to leave you alone.
Yeah. At the Del Coronado, the famously haunted hotel.
And Michael got haunted. We watched a video about how it was haunted in my room, and then Michael went to sleep, and then the phone kept ringing, and it was the ghost, and Michael was like, "No, I want to unplug the phone so it's ringing, but I also need it for a wake-up call."
I said that out loud.
Aggressively asking the ghost to stop.
Yeah, hoping the ghost would overhear me talking to myself and just feel bad. Like, he actually needs the wake-up call.
Okay.
I guess I should, yeah.
Now, Judd, isn't this the same street that the knocked up house is on?
That's right. Yeah, that is on
In
the
the
same
neighborhood
street.
where the knocked up.
And it's very
Where
close to
was
where you
it?
grew up.
It was 117 degrees that one day where we shot.
Yes.
The opening sequence.
Oh, remember during Knocked Up when there was an ice cream truck and it was Joey Botafuco's?
That's right.
And the ice cream truck?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that. That was.
It was Joey Botafuco. Like,
I couldn't have been more sure you were all punking me that there was an elaborate prank when you started saying that. I thought it was the most absurd concept.
No, it was true. Joey Buttafuoco owned a Hollywood movie set ice cream truck.
He was making an honest living, you know, working
Making
hard.
an honest living.
It was
Seems
just pretty weird. It was pretty surreal. I would
Pretty
say.
weird.
Hey, I don't know. It was a little weird.
I think Joey Buttafuoco hands you ice cream.
Hey, I'm not a judgmental guy, but it was great.
Yeah, it takes all
It's
you
a
ask for your ice cream-
memorable and unique way to have it go down.
Yes. If you're gonna get an ice cream when you're 21 on a movie set, Joey Buttafuoco's an interesting guy to give it to you. With a full Friar Tuck haircut.
My brother just texted me, I'm putting my kids to bed, but sure, I can whip up a few dicks for you guys.
Perfect. Very nice of him. Never has a better sentence been uttered.
What about Martha and M? Did you when you were shooting the movie, did you think what did you just think that's a cool experience and I hope it goes well, and then was it surprising and whatever?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Am I the only one that felt like I knew?
No, I wasn't joking. I've been on this train the whole time. I'm with you.
Script, I laughed so hard I was like crying throughout the whole. I mean, honestly, my face hurts right now even being around all of you again, like hearing you talk. I just think you're all so funny. And I was like, when I read the script, it was so incredible. And then on set, it was so funny all the time. I thought it was going to be amazing.
I guess I had no idea what to expect. I just had no idea what to expect. And when I first auditioned for it, there was like a very big like, make sure your child, because a lot of the people that were auditioning were children, reads the whole script. And if you're a parent, read the script. Like, your kid cannot just randomly audition for this. And I was like, I'm in Canada, like we never get the script, you just get your sides, like the audition scene. And I was like, I don't have time to read the whole thing. So I just went in, did the audition of the few pages, and then like 2 months later, got called to come down to Los Angeles to audition. And I was like, oh, I guess I better read it. And then I read it and I was like, oh my God, they want me to say the words Harry Lovecraft. Out. Like,
I should have heeded that disclaimer.
And then I got the part and was like, I guess I just have to say that and hope you don't mind. And then on set, I said the full line, which was, we'll just say it here right now, but it was, Harry Lovecraft.
Oh, now you can't get enough of saying it.
Evan, you came up to me and you were like, Martha, people won't like you as a person if they hear you say that. You can't say that line. And I was like, I agree. I don't want to say that line out loud. My parents are going to watch this and also, ugh. But no, I didn't know that it was going to be a hilarious movie. I was like, I'm going to say this weird line in the movie. And then I watched it and was like, oh, this is very funny.
We just got a message. Joe Biden said, please stop saying that.
Didn't Hunter audition for McLovin first?
Yeah. Down to top three.
I remember this was a big deal because it involved visual effects.
Yeah, that bottle was CG. That was like a huge thing for us at the time.
I was also sick that there was a bus on a soundstage.
Yeah, we were very impressed that we were on a bus on a soundstage using CG.
Like we're making Star Wars.
You made it. This was a reshoot.
This was a reshoot, which, like, in retrospect, is so weird because it's such like like, how badly did we fuck up whatever was here before to have to do?
Yeah, this is pretty boilerplate kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just like shoe leather.
Hey, isn't that shoe leather? I think that is the night that we did the long dancing, right, Evan? I'm just having a flashback looking at that. I think we went from there to a soundstage and just danced for hours.
Yeah, so the opening credits are Michael and Jonah dancing, and I believe Chris jumps in there at some point too. Do you? I don't know.
No.
No, just Michael and Jonah, and it was just Michael and me were convinced that if we filmed him dancing for 4 hours, we would find a very good purpose for it later.
Well, I think it was like Blu-rays. It was like the advent of Blu-rays.
We wanted the menu of the Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's right.
Repeat itself.
Yeah.
And so I remember we asked.
Oh, I remember. It was based on the Alan Partridge DVD. Had him playing the bass.
We were like, what if it
right.
wasn't on a loop? What if it never stopped? What if you happened to leave the menu on for 4 hours?
You're like,
you would slowly realize it never repeated itself.
And then we found out technologically that wouldn't work, but we filmed it.
Way too much data to put on a menu.
Way too much. 4 hours worth of.
And then our editor Scott figured out, one of the editors, the assistant editor Scott figured out that we could use it for the opening credits, and it worked well enough that we brought Jonah in and did it again. And we have now wonderful opening credits. We'll never forget.
Yeah, Scott and I talked about everything should look like it was a effect that could have been done only in the 70s. Like nothing could look all that good. It all had to look like rotoscope from 1973, and he totally nailed that.
And I'll give you guys props. Like tons of movies did that old Columbia or old Universal logo thing after this movie, and you guys were the first.
We did it. We found out that legally you're allowed to use the old logos of the studio, and they can't contractually stop you.
Ooh, there! My brother drew this penis just now on the fly, and also he texted me saying my kids really want to know what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna explain this.
Don't tell them.
That's hilarious, man. It says with a penis like this.
They vote on the balls or something like that.
Yeah, it says USA, USA. David does not know what's happening here politically.
No, he's very confused.
We're here for a reason.
He's calling. He's using his medium like.
Exactly.
What is he saying? He's saying here he'll do 5 dick drawings, each $100,000. Is that right? Does that seem fair?
Yes.
And Michael will also match that.
And 5 times it.
5 times.
5 times it, as it's known.
I really remember shooting these scenes at the house party.
I remember being very worried about doing a spit take, which Michael does very soon, and thinking
which Michael
making a
killed
movie with spit takes.
And I feel like Michael's the kind of person where if you tell him I'm worried about your version of a spit take, he looks you dead in the eye like you're a fool. with the implication being you think I can't do a fucking spit take, man. I remember you kept trying to perfect the triple take while we were filming also.
Oh yeah, or the double take.
The double.
Yeah, that's right. It's like this. It's like, so anyway, we were talking. Oh my God, did you see that?
You perfected it. Way to go.
You finally got it 14 years later.
Wow, it's hard not to pull a muscle.
You've been using your quarantine time well, huh?
I got the double there.
You have to start slow. I mean, you never start at that speed. You work up to that speed.
Michael, to me, is the funniest person on planet Earth. No offense to all the brilliant people who are funny on here, but Michael is the funniest to me. And all I want to do is make him laugh. The whole movie, just like trying to get him.
Completely mutual.
I remember someone asked earlier in the Q&A, who's the person who broke the most? I bet it's Michael, and it couldn't be further from the
The one time I tried the whole movie.
Oh yeah, wait.
I tried the whole movie to get Michael to laugh and like say something to make him laugh.
I can think of something that you did.
And then one time I was off camera, finally, like the end of the shoot, I'm off camera doing it, and I sneeze, and I just sneeze, and Michael starts like crying, laughing. It was the only thing that ever got him to break was just a little tiny accidental sneeze. Like,
Jonah, there's one thing that like kills me to this day, which is when you're picking me up. When I'm drunk and you're carrying me and you pick me up off the ground and you do the noise of the grape stomp lady.
Yeah, you go.
Oh, stop! Oh, stop!
I still, whenever YouTube videos myself and my castmates are watching at the time, I still sneak in
got to
like inside jokes in the scene to try and make them laugh.
It's very special, especially watching the movie and hearing that.
That is funny. But you didn't laugh at the time. You only laughed when I said
Because he doesn't break.
Evan was passed out drunk.
In real life?
The character
of Evan Goldberg. What a time, huh?
This was right near OJ's house. I remember when we were shooting out, right?
OJ who?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh, my friend or OJ, not the OJ you're thinking of. Yeah. Austin Jacobowitz. Do you know him?
Wait, wasn't one of the holding houses around the corner belonged to one of OJ's attorneys?
Yeah, it was something. It was
something like that.
It was a complicated neighborhood. It was.
Yeah.
Pancake, what do you remember about shooting this scene? Anything?
I mean, I feel like I remember everything about this night. That was the first experience I had where it was really cold outside and I was in a tube top. And then when I saw This Is the End and these actors are the softest baby shit because they're it's freezing and everybody's surfing. That's how I felt that night.
I remember these nights being mad fun because it was a whole house party and we would all sit outside in our puffy jackets and all hang out and sit on the grass and stuff.
So fun.
Yeah.
And Clark Duke was always around too. Clark Duke
is in the background of every single.
Yeah,
Clark defies continuity in this movie.
He found the lens.
He found it. We found it there.
Some technical flaw of the movie.
Yeah,
That's the new angle.
Clark Duke's continuity is all over the place.
When I saw it at the AFCO with Emma, I have to say this scene was the scene that blew the roof off the place. People went. You guys, Martha, Michael, you guys are so funny in this. It's ridiculous.
I think it's kind of already been. I think we've already said this before, but we're both, I think, very drunk during the making of this scene.
I think someone should say we weren't drunk making this movie.
They were drunk during
this scene. During this scene, we're quite drunk. I was at least. I can't.
Oh, I remember. It was a real balance.
It was, yeah.
Well, because I feel like I was so nervous leading up to it, and everybody was like, "We're coming to set that day. It's gonna be funny." And I was like, "Oh God!" And then Michael's mom drove him to work that day.
Yeah, my mom was there.
And I was like, "Please don't stick around and watch."
Do you remember, Martha? We were standing outside and you were talking about how awkward it was, and then a Sony tour of people seeing what it was like on sets came by briefly with a bunch of young people who were just there to watch, and we were just like, "You guys have to go. You can't be here for this."
Cannot witness this. I still have.
One of my top favorite lines of the whole movie is coming up, which is the blow jam, which I think is one of the top lines of the whole film.
Oh, yeah.
All of that, making out that would be normally so awkward, became very normal and pedestrian after.
Yeah, it becomes very funny.
Yeah. That was a whole day of that.
Just a full day of me licking your face.
It helped being drunk, I think, unlike some horribly cheap orange-flavored vodka.
Yeah, and Jonah, this is the scene that you were drunk for and then had more to shoot afterwards, if I recall, right? Yeah.
If you can't tell,
Gotta be professional like Michael and I, just drunk
Yeah.
scene. You can't have a sober scene later.
yeah. Remember shooting scene.
I was not drunk at all.
And it shows.
Thank you.
And it's no coincidence.
Your life's turned out.
Exactly. This, I think, Evan, if I recall, is partially based on real life and someone we knew passed out while kissing a girl.
Someone. There was a girl came to school and she had a black eye, and we were all very concerned, and we tried to find out what. And there was someone passed out and just.
I don't know. Just say when a penis like this. We gotta go.
Again, I'm not joking. My brother's putting his kids to bed. He did the best he could. This is what he was about.
Penis like this, don't they?
Right.
Absolutely.
I remember one of the first weekends it came out, someone recognized me and chased me to my car and slammed on my window. I got a boner. I got a boner. I got a boner.
Which
to my brain.
Sounds like a fucking nightmare, dude.
It was intense. It was very intense.
Once again, I'm sorry.
I'm 17 years old.
Yeah.
Stop screaming, you have
Yeah.
a boner at me.
And I was 17 years old. Just reiterate.
When we went to England, when we got off the plane in England, in our hotel was the Beastie Boys and the cast of High School Musical, and we all saw Prince
Yeah. At the O2.
at the O2 that night, which is a pretty surreal evening.
In the Disney box.
In the Disney box.
Yeah.
And it was very weird.
That is very weird. I remember we got kicked out of our own. Premiere after party at the Roosevelt Hotel.
Oh, really?
For that.
Yeah, we were like there. I mean, we were young also as well. So I understand why they believed we should not have been there, probably doing the things they were doing. But we were physically removed from the after party of the premiere at like 4 a.m. or something.
I think they made the right choice looking back on it.
Yeah.
And I assume he won't mind that. I have a very distinct memory, Chris, of me and you smoking a joint with Ben Harper at like 4 a.m. and I don't think you knew who he was, to be totally honest.
I was there.
I don't know.
It's Clark.
We tried to stay up late, and we all went to go see The Prestige at the Grove.
I was not party to that.
You guys went to see The Prestige, and that's when Jonah and I went to see Marie Antoinette at the same time.
Yeah.
And we all went to Tanner's Deli.
Wow.
We had class. We had a little bit of
You had
class.
a little bit of class. Let them eat cake, guys.
And we were dressed up as the characters from
You were
Yeah, we were like,
Sophia Coppola
excuse
cosplay.
Excuse me.
As long as we were all at the Grove, everything's cool.
No, remember the night the movie came out, Evan got an 80s limo from the 80s, but it broke down. It kept breaking down like on the way to the Grove, remember?
It only broke down twice. It didn't keep breaking.
It broke down on the left turn into the Grove, which was terrifying, if you remember.
I was gone. I remember me and you, Joe, we were promoting Knocked Up overseas when the movie came out in theaters, I think. I think we were,
Right. In
right?
Deauville, and we were stalking Harold Ramis. We were
Yeah,
just-
exactly. Yeah, we were meeting. And I look back and I I had no concept that the movie was doing well and that it was being well received. Like, I literally didn't. I didn't care at all at the time, which is so disappointing because now 100% of my identity is associated with my success, and I could not imagine not caring. It's like, I look back, I'm like, I don't even remember thinking about it. I honestly don't even remember thinking about it. It's so weird.
There was a question earlier, anybody not being able to, people breaking too much.
This scene, Bill.
Oh, it was like 27 times.
I could not get through this scene. I
remember that.
That's in. Well, there's a gag reel at the end, right? And I think Bill, you breaking over and over is in.
I could not. I couldn't look anybody in the eye. I just seeing Chris with his shirt off, and it just became like it was him, and we're dressed as cops, and I just stepped out of it for a second. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? Right from here.
It was here.
Right here.
I could not get through it. I kept laughing. Like, I would sit down, I would start laughing. It got to the point where Greg was like, maybe you need to like go take a walk. I felt really bad because I feel like Greg was like, dude, we have to get through this.
It was amazing seeing how like at first it was funny, and then you were mad at yourself, and then you were like, okay, it's funny again, and I'm gonna seize control, and then you got mad at yourself again, and you got mad for a little.
I was like, hey, I remember saying like I would, instead of saying, hey, I'm sorry I blocked your cock, which was a line I couldn't say, I kept laughing, and then I would add lines. I was like, hey, FYI. Just say the fucking thing.
you were teeing it up.
I flip it if I wouldn't find it funny anymore. So like, hey.
You kept making it like fresher and more funny and more teed up every single time.
I would try to tee it up for it, and you would be like, just say the fuck. I'd be like, hey man, for real? And you'd could not get through it.
We must have done it 25, 30
I felt
times.
terrible. I just kept.
Yeah,
And then I
it was.
remember, there's smart people, dude. But I remember shooting this. I had to get. I was doing SNL when we shot this movie. I would do SNL for 2 weeks and then go back and do this for a week. And I remember having to get on a plane right from here.
Yo, I saw a sketch, Bill, I've never seen with you're a guy and you're a fireman, and Adam Levine like steals your girlfriend, but he was your girlfriend for like a week.
Oh yeah, and I'm really upset about it. Yeah.
Honestly, it's one of the hardest I've ever laughed in my entire life. I don't know how I've never seen this before.
Yeah,
I don't remember the sketch I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm a very effeminate firefighter who's angry that my ex-girlfriend's with Adam Levine, and I have a full meltdown. And my favorite thing about that is Jim Downey, the SNL writer. He goes, "I don't find that sketch funny, but we called the sketch the Firehouse Incident." Because it's funny because it's needlessly mysterious.
And from how I remember, when we met, the way I remember it, Bill, we met on the set of You, Me, and Dupree.
My first
Hawaii.
paying job, my first like official
job,
paying on the table job where I did
Me
nothing.
and Evan, it's a film the Russo brothers directed. They've gone on to become the most successful filmmakers in the history of
Me and Seth were Matt Dillon's best friends.
Yeah, where obviously me and Bill Hader played Matt Dillon and Owen Wilson's best friend. Matt Dillon could literally be my father. I am not exaggerating. It was appalling. There was a moment where I was like they are 20 years older than we are, I think.
My first job as an actor, and I just remember being out in Hawaii with you being like, we are so getting cut out of this thing.
Yeah, we're just like, this is not going to happen. But I remember, if I remember, it was like within 2 hours of meeting you, I was like, we're making this movie where I would like you to be the other competent, please.
And then Evan walked over and you said, hey, he would be good as one of the cops. And Evan was like, yeah. And then I remember Evan going, hey, you don't have to pay for the coats over at that. He's like, you just have coats. And says like, no, all of it's free. He's like, this is amazing.
Yeah, for me, it was the greatest 2 weeks of my entire life. They brought me up to help rewrite the script, and then they were like, we don't really want you to do that. We just wanted to placate the studio. Do whatever you want. I was like, great.
It was great.
Free Coca-Cola for 2 weeks. Not Pepsi.
Not Pepsi.
Not Pepsi. I always like this scene. Bill improvised that we were listening to Panama, and therefore we had to clear the song Panama, which was not easy.
As in remembrance of Eddie Van Halen, that totally was just one take where Bill just started singing it, and it couldn't be more perfect.
I love this. Remember this? We actually clipped one of the we clipped a rearview mirror. Remember?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I feel like this was kind of before green screen was that prevalent, and they built this crazy rig with a cop car, and some lunatic stunt driver just spun us around in donuts in this giant parking lot.
They gave us ginger stuff because they were like, "You'll probably throw up," and we were like,
and this will stop it.
There's on the behind the scenes. I do remember you guys showing me this because Seth, I went over to your house and you're like, "Yeah, this makes me laugh," which is. I get out and I'm like clearly shaken, and Evan comes over to me and he's like, "Oh my God, you guys are like this close to just smashing right into one of those poles." And I go, "I don't want to hear this."
Just completely unamused.
I was like, all right.
Maybe if I said it 2 hours later, it would have settled a bit.
Well, there were a lot of discussions about how we should not put young Christopher Mintz-Plasse in this dangerous situation.
Once again, a 17-year-old Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
Yeah.
Oh, we said
it turns out you can't show him thrusting, but you can show him shooting a gun.
Like a flaming cop car, yeah.
That's America.
I think Seth and I were like, you should say, "Break yourself, fool."
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
and
like,
you didn't know what that was a reference.
You didn't know what it meant. We were like, no, just say "break yourself, fool."
Yeah. It's from the documentary Menace to Society.
It is a docu-series.
I remember initially Seth and I, the draft that we first showed Judd just had it ending in an alley, and with the Seth and Evan characters, and the McLovin character had his ending. And Judd was like, "You didn't write an ending, guys. You need to add a conclusion to the story," and then that motivated us to write.
And we were like, "What? Like they're gonna like tell each other their feelings? That's lame." And he was like, "Exactly." That's exactly what
It was like, "You're like the moment before ending it. You're not there yet."
Yeah.
Oh man, Jonah, do you remember we were someplace and Sean Penn came over to us and told us how much he loved Superbad?
Yeah. Who's the weirdest person that has praised Superbad to you?
Mine would be Sean Penn, where he wouldn't let go of our hands. He goes, "It's like Cassavetes. It's like Cassavetes. It's like another thing." And I was like, "Oh."
Well, on Funny People, Eminem said that he watched it hundreds of times and knew every word to it.
Yes.
He knows every word to the movie, literally.
Okay. He literally came to set and of Funny People, and Jonah. What was it, Jonah? He was like, "I need Jonah to come here." Do you remember?
I wasn't working, and you called me and you're like, Eminem demands that you come here.
You gotta come.
And hung out with him. Yeah, I've kept in touch with him. He's awesome. He really is an awesome guy. Really awesome guy.
Best scene in the movie. I just have to say, this scene is so wonderful.
I think, yeah, this is kind of the best. We would go do those screenings, we do Q&As after, we would always come in right at this scene, like when we were, and it was so cool because you would hear uproarious laughter and stuff, and then people were really genuinely incredibly moved. And then the look you guys give at the end of the movie, it's like, yeah, it's really good.
I've had people,
I remember we showed the movie to James Brooks, and James Brooks wrote me a note, and he said he brought his son who was in high school and all his friends, and he said it was like the first time they all realized they loved each other.
Oh, that's great. That's beautiful. Wow.
Also, I do boop still to this day.
I've had people do that to me in uncomfortable.
Knowing you, you would not like that. If you're watching this and see Joan on the street, don't boop his nose.
I feel like when you're our 20s, in my 30s, it's been fine.
Yeah.
20s, I feel like people think that they can still physically, like you're just their bud. You know, now luckily the kids are like 18 that like the movie. Like my nephew is 13 and he finally watched it and he was like, "It's my favorite movie." And I was like, that is so cool. Like now they're like younger kids who would never go up to a 36-year-old adult and touch their.
No, to be fair, like Seth is my best friend who I work with all day. I don't touch his fucking face. That's insane.
No, never. But we had a very uncomfortable relationship.
No, what was the story about the day after the movie opened when the cop was yelling at you on the street? Joni, you know that story?
What was it? About yelling at me?
Yeah, like just recognized you. A cop recognized you on the street in New York, like the day after it opened.
I don't remember. You want to tell it?
Emotional.
Clearly left a big impact on you.
You just said like a cop was very excited to see you on the street, and that's like when you realize that people recognized you because these cops like screamed at you and you got nervous, and then you realized they were like excited to see you.
I know the cop and Bill to say, "Hey, SNL, your show sucks."
Oh yeah, I had a guy drive by once and he went, "Hey, SNL." He called me SNL.
Which is an honor.
SNL. He goes, "You and your show fucking suck, guys." I was with my mother-in-law at the time, and I said, honest to God, I said, "That's my friend Ryan." Because I was embarrassed.
Only good answer.
Honestly, I have an 11. My oldest is 11. She said, like, a couple of months ago, she's like, "Dad, were you in a movie called Superbad?" And I don't know if you watched that yet. Like, all my friends are saying we gotta watch Superbad. I'm like,
oh no.
All these clothes are still fashionable.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Shorts have only become more popular.
I think that's gonna go away.
You know, Seth,
Will you let your kids watch Superbad? Like what?
Yeah, what age?
What's the age that you start watching 13?
11.
I think no, fuck you. I think wherever it's at, they're watching it like 3 years ahead. Like,
Yeah. They've seen it.
I'm just gonna. My kids are 4 and 2. Whenever they find it, they find it. It's up to them. It's not my
like,
choice.
I remember, like, I tell her, I'm like, oh, you can't watch that. But then I was watching like Kentucky Fried Movie when I was younger than her. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. 9-year-olds are watching The Vow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. 9-year-olds going like, hey, Keith.
This guy's got a lot of good points.
Everyone on The Vow went to high school with Seth and Evan. That's the weird part.
I went to summer camp with the star of The Vow. Yeah.
What? With who, Allison Mack?
No, with Sarah.
It's a Canadian story, guys. It's largely a Canadian story.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Got sentenced real hard today, so.
Oh yeah, good.
Shouldn't have done that.
No, he's
Great volleyball
Those are
player.
very nice.
One of the great volleyball players of our time.
Yeah, one of the great volleyball related
I
cults.
want them to release Keith Raniere volleyball gear.
Just the raw footage of the volleyball matches.
Just like a mannequin in like a sports goods store with
KRG.
My sister and I are trying to figure out our English bulldog, a Keith Raniere Halloween costume for him.
You'll get there.
You need a wig. You need a wig that looks like a wig.
Somehow capture that. Oh man.
Good times, man. Good times.
So the moral is show your children the film. I think that's something.
Yeah, and there's no age that's too young. No, no
When
age.
is your
I'll
kid
get them
Superbad?
tomorrow. I'm gonna make him watch it tomorrow. He's one. He's old enough.
No, it's done.
Judd, when did Iris and Maud see Superbad? Like, how old were they? Like,
made him watch like
I don't know. I remember Maud saw Rent at like 7 and never recovered. It scared her. The one, she said, destroyed her.
Seth, you know how you talked about not really having any concept of when the movie came out or whatever? I remember shooting this day and just being really like watching the clock because I had an open mic night that I had to go to. We're shooting the end of the movie, the last scene of the movie. I'm like, I gotta get out of here pretty soon.
I got a super important open mic.
on his face right there. That's the best right there. So good.
I also feel like a lot of the extras weren't like paid extras. They were just
Yeah.
Oh, this was just an open mall.
I
This
had to we're like way down at the end.
Legendary LA Mall, Fox Hills Mall.
No, wasn't someone gonna stop us at one point, but we couldn't hear cut. We just like walked the entire length of
We just kept walking.
Yeah, you just
Yeah, same with us, and people would like
Yeah, I
stop,
remember.
like Arrested Development.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm wearing a.
In the middle, and then we just keep walking.
Like, I really like the credits over the last shot. Isn't that?
Greg,
Yeah, very.
Well,
good.
you
I
did a great
just
job on this movie, Greg. Can I just
Yeah, dude.
Very
As I've gotten
good directed film.
as I've gotten older, I've grown to appreciate how much you brought to this whole thing.
Yeah, but you also had to deal with, like, as people can see from this commentary, like, a lot. You were very good at managing everybody, but you never felt like, now that I've worked more, I'm like, oh man, like working on that, like Greg has such a good way. If you don't feel like you're working, you kind of just, it's like, it just flows in this interesting way, and you can kind of fuck up, and it doesn't matter. I don't know, it's the
you
greatest.
can fuck up like 35 times in a row, and
You can be like, oh yeah, no, we've got all day. Get your fucking
yeah, exactly. I'm back at the hotel already. All I can say is the first time I heard the reading of this back in Undeclared, and I saw this last scene, I thought that's the fucking key to the movie, is these two guys leaving each other, is that moment in life where it's never going to be the same again, and that's it. That's the emotional core of this thing. And then I wept.
Me too. I do remember though, you were a rock throughout the whole thing, but I remember in the last like week and a half, I noticed you kept like going into your car and driving away, and I realized that you were just like having a drink alone somewhere.
Yeah.
Just to kind of cope with the stress.
I remember
at
that
point.
too. I remember like Craig's going on one of his drives again, and then finally like we like came with you on one of the drives and just found you like slamming a bottle of tequila in the back of a car as a transpo guy drove you in circles around the block, and he's like, "This is what I've been doing on these drives. It's been I haven't been showing it, but this has been a really stressful experience for me." I was like, I remember being like, "What? This has been stressful for you?"
Dad's on one of his drives again.
That's driving.
Yeah, Daddy's got to go for a drive. I'll be right back.
Well,
Hey, man.
Cool.
We've done it.
How much
We did it.
money
We did it for America, guys. We did this for America.
Yeah.
Everybody out there, you could donate more money if you enjoyed this. We need it to get the word out, to get everybody voting. The stakes couldn't be higher. And tell friends to vote. We need a lot of young people voting. Young people vote at a very low rate.
Go
So
vote.
change
vote.
that, because then you can change the country. And to you guys, this was a magical moment in time, and I couldn't be more proud of everything that you guys did. It's so special, and it's great to see everybody. And I'm glad you're all doing great and are so happy. And that's it. Take care, everybody.
you
Take
all.
care, America.
Also love everybody.
So long.
Love you all. Thank you.
Hey, guys.
Bye-bye.
Good job, everybody.
And then we sit here
And
awkwardly.
so
for
now
a
we
while.
just